Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another PMP Q&A session. Again, today we will be discussing 10 more questions, and these questions are from the entire exam content outline. So let's start question number 1. All right, Vivek, you have chosen option B.
Yes. So since few team members are uncomfortable, I was like between option A and B, but A is kind of little time-taking activity. We need to organize the team building activities. Then maybe it will take some time, but uh, to address the situation immediately or like rather on a faster basis, we should take the project manager should focus on the facilitation techniques and that can like helpful for the collaboration between the team.
All right, thank you, Vivek. But if we take the same logic, if team building activities are time-taking, similarly, developing facilitation skills, this is also a time-taking activity. We are not talking
But facilitation, okay, sorry, but facilitation techniques can be implemented in day-to-day meetings or daily stand-ups. So all the platforms or forums can be utilized.
All right, thank you. Okay, Manmeet, you have chosen option B.
I learned from you that facilitation is one of the PMI's goal when it comes to any collaboration issues within the team. And facilitation is not only the collaboration or making team on one page, it also smoothen things between the team when there's disagreements for some decisions. So that's something I believe as a project manager do in this situation rather than going A, C, D.
All right. By the way, what is facilitation, Manmeet? What do you mean by facilitation? When we say facilitation skills, what sort of skills we're talking about?
Supporting the group um, through conflicts, disagreements, making them aware of each other. Uh, any kind of like facilitation means like giving the idea of what is the real difference and what are the agreements and thoughts and opinions within the group, especially in this scenario.
All right. Thank you. Robin, you have chosen option A.
I thought that options B, C, and D didn't really answer the question of the members are uncomfortable being part of the team. And team building would address that. So that's why I chose option A.
All right. Thank you for explanation. So let's read the question. It says, a new project team has just formed, and the PM notices that some team members are uncomfortable being part of the team. They are working individually rather than collaboratively. Okay. Now, the problem here is that if we talk about facilitation skills, what are facilitation skills? Facilitation skills are normally used during the meeting. You facilitate a conversation, like you give equal opportunity to the participants to contribute. You make sure that people feel comfortable within the meeting to share their thoughts and ideas, right? To have that psychologically safe environment where there is no pressure of being judged or there is no fear of being punished. That is called facilitation skills. And facilitation skills are used during the meetings. Here, the problem is not like that you are having meetings and team members are not comfortable sharing their ideas or they are not getting equal opportunities or some team members are dominating the conversation, right? So the problem here is that there is lack of cohesiveness. They don't act like a team. They are individual elements. So you need to group them together. You need to integrate them together. So facilitation skills are entirely different things. They are not helpful here. So as Robin mentioned, correct thing is focus on team building activities, because in this question, team building is what is lacking here, because team members, they don't work like a team. So you need to build the team. So organize team building activities to address the issue. One comment from Vivek, he mentioned organizing team building activities takes time. Similarly, focusing on facilitation skills of the team members, it's also a time-taking activity. We're not talking about facilitation skills of the project manager. We're talking about facilitation skills of the team members. So even if we take that time logic, facilitation skills would also a time-taking activity. Option C, provide direct guidance to team members on performing their tasks. So the problem is not about task performance. The problem is about team building. Ensure self-organization, since the team is in initial stages. So self-organization won't be helpful here. So correct answer is option A. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option B.
The situation is, as it says in the question, is basically the work is stopped, the team leader stopped the work because there's a contractor violating essentially the quality protocol, and which is on critical path. What's the first course of action, right? So I think in looking at the various options, it seemed like enforcing strict quality protocol and accept potential project delays to ensure standards are met are really you're taking the reactive approach of basically not understanding the issue first. So B was the right answer, which is the next step was to assess and analyze what the issue is and what the extent of the deviation is to then make an informed decision. C is more of a reactive, like, hey, we want to ensure what the risks are associated. It's kind of limited that. D was reinforcing contract terms. I mean, it could be a good option without knowing what the issue is, what the contractor violated. I think B actually made sense.
All right, thank you for detailed explanation, Mohan. Francis, you have chosen option D.
Yes, I've chosen option D because I think it solves the problem. Number one, you can ask the contractor to meet all this compliance with the protocols. At the same time, you can meet the deadline. I think it's a critical project, and you can do both at the same time. I think some of the answers solves only one problem, and also can delay the project. So I think for me is more. It look likely to me.
All right, thank you. Basma, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, actually, it was between C and D that I was going back and forth, but I thought that you need to understand what is the reason behind the issue that has occurred to identify and analyze the issue and then come up with the resolutions.
All right, thank you. Okay. let's read the question. It says you are a PM for a construction project. Your team lead has stopped the work because the contractor violated essential quality protocols. So number one, the violation is of essential quality protocols. However, meeting the project deadline is also critical. What's the first course of action to address both quality adherence and timely project completion? Remember, whenever you see an option with strict, immediate, reinforce, these options are not, normally they are not the right answers, right? We don't go with strict options. We don't go with immediate compliance or something like that. So enforcing strict quality protocols and accept potential delays to ensure standards, no. Your goal is to make sure that you achieve the quality standard and at the same time, you do not delay the project. It's clearly written. However, meeting the project deadline is critical. So we can't do that. So option A, we can easily eliminate, right? Because it's focusing on just one characteristics, that is quality. Option B, assess and analyze the extent of deviation from the quality standard. It is already mentioned in the question, the violation is of essential quality protocols. So there is no point of assessing the extent because it's clearly mentioned, like it's not something where you can compromise. It's something that is really important for the project. So you can eliminate option B as well. Option C, ensure risk associated with meeting competing demands are identified and analyzed. Could be the right answer because the very first thing is evaluation and analysis. Since we have two options here or two aspects, one is quality, other is time or schedule. So we need to analyze what are the risks associated with both the options. What if we do this, what would happen? What if we go with option B, what would happen? So you evaluate various alternatives to understand what are the right course of action for you. Option D, reinforce contract terms with the contractor and insist on immediate compliance with quality protocols. Yes, it could be an option, but it's a unilateral option. When it comes to projects and from PMI perspective, we work with the vendor, we work with the contractor rather than just saying, okay, follow the contract. This is super easy. We don't do that. We try to find out the solution, right? The only option that looks for analysis and solution is option C, and it takes care of both the aspects of the statement. One is quality, other is schedule. So correct answer is option C. Ensure risk associated with meeting competing demands are identified and analyzed. So let's read the explanation. All right. So the the outcome or takeaway is the first action is to analyze, and analysis is not just for only one aspect of all the aspects which are discussed in the statement. Next question. All right. Basma, you have chosen option D.
I chose D because it's more than one project that are going at the same time, and one is overlapping with the other. And I thought that if you integrate a roadmap of all the projects together, you can understand why they are overlapping, and then you can make sure that they are aligned.
All right, thank you. Kokila, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, because it's clearly saying that the delay is due to competing priorities of the shared resources. So if the project manager would have known the resource management plan and the impacts of the other projects, then we would have avoided it and had a better plan.
All right, thank you. Vivek, you have chosen option B.
Yes. So since option D, I was thinking, but it is mentioning that integrated roadmap, but it is not a duty of a project manager. The program manager should do that. So I eliminated that option. And C, option C has the lesson learned. So there is nothing specifically mentioned or nothing like no issues for the past lessons. So updating the risk management to document lesson learned, I am not thinking that way. That it will be great. Utilization of resources also like because it's shared resources and it cannot be a unilateral decision from the project manager. He can only do that consistent communication with other program manager and other stakeholders. So they should be in sync and they should know the activities, what are happening, and it can be better avoided the situations with collaboration.
All right, thank you for detailed explanation. So yes, correct answer is option B, maintained constant and consistent communication with the program manager. Why? Because the problem here is problem of shared resources. And when your project is part of a program, managing shared resources is the responsibility of program manager, right? Because it is, as Vivek mentioned, it's not a unilateral decision like you can update your own resources management plan or you can update your own risk management plan. So there should be an integrated effort among relevant stakeholders. And who is relevant here? Program manager. So if you have maintained constant communication with program manager and other stakeholders, such resource conflicts could have been identified earlier and mitigation strategies would have been developed, right? So constant communication with the program manager and other stakeholders would have been helpful in this situation. So correct answer is option B. There's a comment, aren't they already communicating? There is no option here, right? There is no indication in the statement that says like they are talking about this particular issue, right? So they need to communicate with the program manager because program manager is ultimately responsible for that. So correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Carlos, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, if the senior administrators are not familiar with Six Sigma, then maybe some training would give light to the fact that an understanding to the methodologies, and that would be easier to implement.
All right, thank you. But Carlos, where it is mentioned senior administrators are not aware of Six Sigma. Okay, you find that. Meanwhile, let's talk to Basma. Basma, you have chosen option C.
Well, I now understand your question to Carlos, and now I'm questioning my answer. So, well, I thought including the administrator in the process improvement workshops, that would give them a more understanding of the Six Sigma. But you're saying it's not the understanding of Six Sigma that, but no, in the question it says the implementation team knowledgeable in Lean Six Sigma is encountering significant conflict regarding the new processes. So I thought maybe they don't understand what it is about. That's why I thought C is correct.
All right, I got your point, but there could be conflict because they have a different opinion about these processes, right? One is they are not knowledgeable. Other is, yes, they are knowledgeable, and that's why they are having a different opinion, right? They, for example, if you have an approach, there are merits and demerits of the approach, right? So maybe they are highlighting demerits. So since nothing is mentioned in the statement, like if they are knowledgeable or if they are not aware of, so that's why maybe we would be looking for something else. But thank you for explanation. Mohan, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, I mean, I at first could not understand the question, but then I think I read it again. I mean, according to me, it seems like the transition process is not bought in by the other team, right? And that's why there's this senior healthcare administrators who are absent or are busy or have conflicts. So I think the best option to me would be kind of to negotiate with the management to see if this is a mutually acceptable process.
All right. Thank you for detailed explanation. So yes, whenever there is a conflict, you negotiate or you use a conflict resolution methodology. Whenever there is a knowledge gap, you go with training and mentoring. Since nothing in the statement says there is a knowledge gap from the administrator's side, so we cannot go with option B and C. We will be going with option D, negotiate with the senior administrator to agree on a mutually acceptable process because there is a conflict, right? D is correct. All other options are incorrect. Let's read the explanation. All right. Next question. All right, Kokila, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, now I doubt my thing because it says that it's evident that the project will no longer deliver the anticipated benefits, which mean the even if we do the project with the alternative, maybe the anticipated benefits is not achieved. So maybe we need to see what the project really can benefit and take actions accordingly. So communicate with situation to the benefit owner maybe and understand what will really have a benefit on the project and and take actions, or consult with the sponsor on the way forward, convene the team meeting. Now I'm confused. So I picked B, suggest alternative to avoid wastage of resources, but I'm not sure if that's the right answer.
All right. Thank you for detailed explanation. Basma, you have chosen option A.
I chose the A because the issue is known. That's what's happening, and the first thing they should do is communicate the situation to the owner. That's what I would do.
All right. Thank you. Monica, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, so I think this goes back to the benefit case management, and it's saying that it's not going to deliver the benefits that we expected. So you want to notify the benefits owner.
All right. Thank you. Okay, let's read the question. It says it becomes evident that the project will no longer deliver the anticipated benefits. The project manager needs to take appropriate action to address this situation. Okay, so we need to address the situation. What should the project manager do? Okay, the concept of benefits honor is something else. It's different. So if you recall, we talked about 3 different stages of project, right? So we have pre-project, we have project, and we have post-project. So this is pre-project work, this is project work, and this is post-project work, right? So benefits are documented here, and benefits honors are appointed so that they can do evaluation of the benefits at the end of the project, because project delivers benefits at the end of the project, right? So some benefits are delivered here right after project completion. Some are delivered here, some are delivered here, depending upon type of project. So concept of benefits honor and their role and responsibility is entirely different. That is relevant to benefits, right? Now we are saying your project would no longer deliver the anticipated benefits. It's already clear. So role of benefits honor is no more relevant in this situation. Now, what you need to do with your project? Benefits honor has nothing to do with the execution of your project. The job of benefits honor is the evaluation of the benefits. And it is clearly written that your project would not deliver the benefits, so their role become redundant here. And they won't be telling you what you need to do with your project. And benefit honor is more relevant in the pre-project and post-project during the operations and maintenance stage of the project. So what should PM do? Communicate the situation to the benefit honor? No, this would not help addressing the situation. Suggest alternatives to avoid waste of resources. This makes sense, right? What else we could do, right? So for example, if the project will not deliver the benefits, what we can do? Can we shut down the project? Can we reprioritize? Is there any pivot? We can do that. Consult with the sponsor on the way forward. That's a good option. But before you consult with the sponsor, you need to do some homework, right? You need to have some options. Does it make sense, everybody? So it's not like that a situation happens and you directly approach to the sponsor. You approach to the sponsor when there is an emergency and as a last resort. So it's not like that you have a situation and you just go and consult with the sponsor without having the homework. So if you have alternatives, then you approach the sponsor, then it makes sense. Last option, convene a team meeting to analyze the development. So in order to have alternatives, the best option is to have a meeting and understand the situation and come up with the alternatives. So correct answer is option D. Whenever there is a situation, try to understand the situation. And for understanding, the best option here is convene a team meeting to analyze the development, right? Have a team meeting and discuss what we should be doing. Have list down all the options A, B, C, D, and then consult with the sponsor. Like, this is the situation. We have 4 options. What do you think? What we should be doing? take their approval, and then take the action. So correct answer is option D. All other options are incorrect. In most of the question, we are using the same principle. Analyze the situation first. And what's the best way for analysis? It's collaborative way. Have a team meeting where you will be discussing all the options. Whenever you have an option where unilateral decisions are taken, avoid those options. If there is no option where there is a collaboration, then you can go with the option where individuals are taking decision or doing the analysis. So in this question, correct answer is option D. Let's read the explanation. All right, so another takeaway. First, do your homework, then approach other stakeholders. All right, next question. All right, Vivek, you have chosen option A.
Yes, actually, I was in option A and C, but with option C, I think it's kind of more reactive and sorry, it's more of a very early stages. We should do this activity where assessment matrix we do what are the important clients and what information we need to pass with them. So this cannot be done at this stage. So instead of doing that, we should understand each stakeholder and what their expectation is, and that's why I choose an option A.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't understand about your comment about at this stage. What we can do at this stage?
So stakeholder engagement assessment can be done when we actually identify the stakeholders. So
all right, but
at the initial phase of the project.
But Vivek, we're not talking about first initial stages. Second, we're not talking about what's the first course of action. Okay. We're talking about what should the PM do to address the concern. And what is the concern? Concern is we need to track the right level of stakeholder participation. Okay. Maybe your answer is right, but I'm just giving a counter argument to your logic. Okay.
Sure.
It can be done at any point in time. Okay, Robin, you have chosen option C.
Yes, I thought that, the concern was about tracking the right level of stakeholder participation. So I felt that to evaluate the stakeholder engagement assessment matrix is the closest to answer that question.
All right.
So that's why I chose C.
Okay, thank you. So let's see what's the right answer. It says a PM is overseeing an important government project involving a diverse group of stakeholders. PM is concerned about tracking the right level of stakeholder participation. So we want to track the right level of participation. So option A, understand stakeholder needs and develop stakeholder engagement plan. So for example, you have identified stakeholder needs A, B, C, and you develop an engagement strategy. Okay, like this is how we would be engaging with the stakeholders. But how this would be helpful in tracking? Tracking is a continuous activity, and tracking is done during execution. You understand, everybody? Because we want to track the right level of stakeholder participation. How we can track? By actually observing and analyzing their actual participation. So yes, you can understand stakeholder needs, you can list down and you can develop strategies, but you cannot track unless and until you are executing those strategies. So A can't be the right answer. Perform an analysis of stakeholders' assumption and constraints. Assumptions and constraints have nothing to do with it, and this is almost similar to option A, understanding stakeholders' needs. Evaluate the stakeholders' engagement assessment matrix. We'll see what is engagement assessment matrix. Option D, communicate with the stakeholders to find the right strategy. I mean, you need to track, right? And how communicating with the stakeholders to find the right strategy would be helpful in this situation. If we see stakeholders engagement assessment matrix, so it is something like this. Let me draw it here. So you have name of stakeholders, and then you have different engagement levels, like stakeholder is unaware, stakeholder is neutral, stakeholder is supportive, stakeholder is leading, right? And then you see what is the current engagement level. So let's suppose you're working on a government project and government is unaware. So you will be writing current engagement level. And desired engagement level, you want government to be supportive. So tracking could be done through stakeholders engagement assessment matrix. Like what is the current engagement level? What's the engagement level right now? And what should be the engagement level? Since the keyword is tracking here, and tracking can be effectively done through stakeholders engagement assessment matrix, right? So in this situation, correct answer is option C. All other options are incorrect. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Monica, you have chosen option C and E.
Yep. So I first started with eliminating the contingency reserve A, and then I eliminated B as well. So I was down to C, D, E. And so it says afterward they identified some risks associated with project duration. So project duration, you definitely want to look at an opportunity to optimize your resources. So I went with C. And then also critical path will tell you what activities are the most important to your schedule. So I went with E.
All right, thank you. Monica, one question. Why you can do schedule compression? Because that's what you want to do. If you're optimizing your resources, then what's wrong with going with compressing your schedule?
I just I didn't want to assume that you needed to compress your schedule.
Then what's the need for resource optimization? Okay, you think about it.
Okay.
Let's talk to Robin. Robin, you have chosen option A and B.
Yes. Okay, option A, contingency reserve, that would be to cover the associated risks, the risks that that are projected. And then a change control in order to accommodate whatever we're going to do there. I thought, you know, A and B fitted what the question asked more than the other three.
All right. Thank you. Francis, you have chosen option B and E.
Chosen B and E because we need to integrate the change control because of the risk we have has to do with the project duration. So the time is going to be a variable here. And then I choose we have to also to analyze the critical path. So this we have to know which we should do first and what should we do first because of this risk which might happen during the duration of the project. That's why I chose B and E.
All right. Thank you, Francis, for detailed explanation. Option E is really good, analyze critical path method, but there is no indication in the question that says you are following critical path method. There could be an instance you're following critical chain method and you don't need to look into critical path method, right? So yes, understanding risk related to schedule, critical path method would be helpful, but we don't know which method is being used by the project manager in this project. It could be critical chain, it could be critical path, it could be another, simple precedence diagramming method or anything else. So that's why option E can't be the right answer. So what's happening here? It says a PM has baselined the project schedule. You have developed your schedule, right? And afterwards, sorry, they identified some risks associated with project duration. So you have some risks. What two things should the project manager do to address the critical scheduling situation? So if you have risk, it is understood in order to respond to those risks, you need to have mitigation actions, right? And what are the mitigation actions? One of the mitigation action is having contingency reserves. And when you add contingency reserve, you need to do rebaselining. You need to change your plan because adding reserves to your baseline would change your baseline. And to baseline, you need a change control. So correct answer is option A and B. If there are risks, you need mitigation actions. And in order to incorporate those mitigation action, you need a change control. So A and B are correct. C, D, and E, there is no indication like there is a need for resource optimization or there is a need for schedule compression. Risk could be relevant to anything. Risk could be relevant to resources. Risk could be relevant to activities duration. Risk could be relevant to delay in another activity. Risk could be relevant to enterprise environmental factors. So there is no indication like we need to do C, D, or E. I have already explained. So correct answer is option A and B. Let's read the explanation. All right, so utilizing change control allows the PM to manage and document changes due to identified risk. Next question. All right. Carlos, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, it's very close. They're all very close. Like A and D are very close, but if I request to the project sponsor a meeting with the specialist, which is option D, would maybe have more chance for my request to be successful, maybe.
All right. Thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence on this one as well. I mean, the question is basically saying what is the best option for the project manager to do in order to leverage the information to basically hire this key stakeholder, right? I, I don't know. I don't have I don't have a rationale, but basically, I thought facilitating a team meeting between the sponsor and the healthcare specialist to evaluate the skill set would be best because the onus is not then just on the project manager. It's basically facilitating meeting with the sponsor for him to also look at the capabilities of the healthcare specialists. So I thought basically D was the best option.
All right. So you're saying honest shouldn't be on the project manager only. All right. Thank you. So Has, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, one thing I felt in the question is there was no need, in the sense there was no resource requirement in the project for hiring him. So that's the reason I thought A and D, I'm not sure. I mean, A is not, may not be right. You know, facilitating meeting between sponsor and healthcare specialist evaluate the skill set capability. So how does that help? I mean, I'm not sure. Uh, you know, the best thing I felt is leverage his utilization of his knowledge, which is mentioned that he is ready for the support. So I felt B might be the best candidate for that.
All right. Thank you. Francis, you have chosen option B.
Yes, I chose option B. I think the fact that this IT specialist is good with Agile doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be part of the project. However, for him being pro Agile gives another area of support, so he can support the team. He understands the methodology and the benefits, so he'll be more or less like the supportive stakeholder rather than like active working on the software. That's why I chose B.
All right. Thank you. Robin, you have chosen option B.
Yes, I think evaluate the possibility sort of gave me direction on option B because you want to find out how he's going to fit into with the project team. How, why, when, answer all the different questions and see if he's suitable. So that's why I went for option B.
All right. Thank you for explanation. So if we read the question, it says, a key stakeholder, a healthcare IT specialist is highly experienced and available to provide support. But there is no indication in the question that says you need some support, there is a resource gap, or there is some sort of need. So first of all, you need to understand if the skill set or whatever they are offering is required for your project. So correct answer is option B, recognize the stakeholders' skills are important for the project and evaluate the possibility of stakeholders supporting the project and see how they can support your project. Once you do this homework, once you identify how that support could be helpful to your project, then you can facilitate a meeting between the sponsor and healthcare to make a final decision, right? Send a request to sponsor to hire. It's a direct action. We don't do that without analysis. Ask the team to review the project requirement and have the team contact stakeholders. So this is actually you're excluding yourself, right? So you don't do that. First of all, you need to evaluate the situation and then come up with the solution. So correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Kokila, you have chosen option A.
Frankly, I am not sure any of the options. I just thought anchoring bias is close because of he's trying to go with the senior team estimates. The other, the sunk cost bias, status quo bias, and confirming evidence bias it's not relevant. But I definitely want to hear more from you because I'm not aware.
All right, thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option B.
I think I'm on the same ballpark as Kokila as well because I don't know any of this, so this is purely a guess. But I know, uh, I guess I'm positive that it's not C and D, um, but I could be wrong. But basically, I was choosing between A and B. Um, um, so I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't have any rationale for this.
All right, thank you. Okay, Vivek, you have chosen option A.
I'm also not sure, but with the word anchoring, I think it's suggesting that where are we are staying at the same position or same status. So, which is kind of restricting any progress. So that's why I choose an anchoring bias, but not sure.
All right, so you use word status. Shouldn't it be status quo bias then?
Status quo bias will be like in that case just stay as it is. The anchoring bias is what once we decided that just proceed with the same like thought process. That's why more of a of opinion that anchoring bias could be the right answer.
All right, thank you for explanation. So yes, correct answer is anchoring bias. So anchoring bias is sticking to the first available information. So for example, if somebody says something to you and then you have further conversation, but your mind sticks to the first one, the first piece of information that you get. Same is the case here. A senior team member has provided initial estimate. Despite other numbers, project manager sticks to the previous estimate or the first information. So this is called anchoring bias. So this is a type of a bias. What is confirming evidence? Confirming evidence means you have a belief and then you find information that supports your belief. So for example, if a student believe PMP exam is difficult and most of the students fail this exam, let's suppose if this is the belief, then they will be finding information which support this argument, like how many people are failing, my friend has failed the exam, right? My colleague couldn't pass the exam. So rather than looking for positive information that contradicts their belief, they only look for things which confirm their evidence, which confirm their bias or their belief. So confirming evidence is looking for information that is according to your belief. Sunk cost bias, sunk cost means if you have invested a money, let's suppose I have invested $100,000 and I know I have made a wrong decision, but still I'm going on investing because I can't isolate myself with the initial money that I have invested in. So that is called sunk cost bias. I have a bias towards money that I have invested or the effort. Status quo bias, as Vivek mentioned, status quo means not doing anything that changes the status quo and only doing things which keep you in your current situation, wherever you are, in your comfort zone. So you have a bias towards thing which force you to do something else other than what you are doing right now. So these are different kind of biases that we need to look into when we make decisions. So correct answer is anchoring bias. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option D.
Oh God, it's on my night tonight, Amar. Oh my God. I mean, I know what Fist of Five is. I don't know what Roman voting and silent voting is. Delphi, I thought was sideways, upwards, and thumbs up, thumbs down kind of thing, and sideways. So I picked that. Honestly, don't know.
All right. Thank you, Mohan. Kokila, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, I remember in your class we learned that Roman voting means thumbs up. So with my vague remembrance, I chose that one.
All right. Thank you. Monica, you have chosen option B.
Yep, I also recall that Roman voting was also the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways.
All right. So relying on your memory only. Okay. Anton, you have chosen option B.
Yes, actually, the history of this voting is dating back to ancient Roman times when fighting gladiators were fighting, and obviously, once one of them was defeated, those winner was asking the audience how do they want to proceed with the wounded gladiator, and that gesture means keep him alive. This one would actually say, okay, kill him. And that one was in the middle. So that's where the Roman voting comes from. That's the logic behind it.
All right. Love the explanation, and that is correct. This is attributed to Romans. They used to vote like that: thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs sideways. Thumbs up, agreement; thumbs down, disagreement; and sideways, undecided, right? But there are some texts which, it's written, it's mistakenly attributed to Roman, right? But, this is another historical perspective. But correct answer is option B, Roman voting. What is fist of five? Fist of five is you show either a closed fist or fingers. So for example, closed fist means full support, and five fingers means closed fist means no support, and five fingers means full support. Anything less than three means it needs discussion. So that is called fist of five. Roman voting is thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. Silent voting, this is not a term, but sometimes it is used. You vote through writing, right? So you don't say anything, you just write it down. And Delphi is a form of anonymous survey. So for example, if I want your opinion about anything, so I would float a survey and I will seek responses without your names. So Delphi is a form of anonymous survey, just to make sure that we are not influenced by each other. So we have Delphi voting, and we play Delphi in multiple rounds. So for example, if I ask you to prioritize what are the challenges in preparing in PMP preparation, and you list down 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C, somebody say it's A, somebody say it's B, somebody say it's C, then I'll be sending the same survey again without your name. You will be reprioritizing it, and we'll keep on playing this game again and again until we reach a consensus. So Delphi is a consensus. It's a technique that you use to reach consensus by using anonymous survey. So correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. All right, everybody, we're done with today's session. Just write your score in the chat window. What's your score in today's mock test? 40%, 50%, 40%, 50%, 20%, 50%, 50%, 40%, 60%, 65%, okay? 50%. Anything more than 50% is good. Less than 50% means you need improvement. But again, why I emphasize again and again, it's a learning process, right? So it's not an assessment. By going through 10 questions, it doesn't mean you're evaluating yourself. It's a learning process. You're learning 10 new concepts. So for example, today you learned about Roman voting and type of biases, right? So this is a learning process, right? Okay. So there's a question, how do these questions compare to the exam based on difficulty? So yesterday we had a lessons learned session with Priya. Priya was a regular attendee of these mock exams. She was with you. Most of the students who are passing the exam, they're saying these questions are slightly harder in terms of difficulty, right? So for example, if real exam is at 100, so these are at 120. So for example, if you're getting 50 here, means you will be getting 65 or 70 in the real exam. But you need to get 50 or at least 60 here. So she was getting 60% on average in these mock tests, and she passed exam with above target in all the domains. And I have uploaded her lessons learned. That's really good. Please do watch the lessons learned, whatever she has shared. And she emphasized like these Q&A sessions are really, really important for the exam preparation, right? Also, my next course is starting on 27th of July. It's a weekend course, 27, 28, and the next weekend, August 3 and 4. Those who would like to register, you can just send a text here and you will receive all the details, right? All right, everybody. Okay, just one thing. Just let me know, how do you feel after this Q&A session every day? Discouraged, encouraged, feel bad? What are your feelings? Just write one word quickly. Need more, I need to keep studying, feel encouraged, more confident. Okay, these are super helpful, but feeling discouraged, feeling encouraged, feeling scared. All right, exam would be much, much easier than this, okay? This would prepare you for the exam. And, one thing why I admire these Q&A session, because it gives you motivation to continuously stay in touch with studies. Most of my students, they couldn't prepare for the exam just because they lose motivation. So this gives you motivation, right? And don't worry about your scores. Go back and review the content. Go back and review the content. And I have sent you a file that is glossary of PMI terms, right? If you understand those terminologies, most of preparation would be done from there, okay? Also, you have class notes, you have PowerPoint slides, you have books, you have a lot of valuable resources, okay? All right, everybody, I'll see you tomorrow with interesting lesson. Take good care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you.